Well, let's speak to Victor Manhit. He's an assistant professor of political science at De La Salle University in Manila. Victor, good to speak to you this morning, or afternoon rather, on TRT World. So, what do you make of these statements from Duterte?
Oh, it's quite surprising that the reference with Hitler. We believe that he is focused on his campaign against crime, drugs, so he can establish law and order in the country, but to compare himself to Hitler and the capacity to kill 3 million people like the Jews, that is shocking to Filipino people.
Absolutely, and surely it won't have gone down well, even with his political allies, to compare himself to someone like Adolf Hitler.
That's true. I think the populace, the Filipino populace, was surprised with the statement as we see it on our TV after his trip from the visit to Vietnam. And we still don't know the political fallout on this, but hopefully the government, referring not only to him, but to the members of his cabinet, should realize that this kind of statements are very dangerous and is really not good for the head of our government, the leader of our republic.
No, absolutely. It doesn't play well around the world. But what's probably most important, Victor, is how this plays with the voters. Of course, he was voted in on a ticket of being tough on crime, a real man's man. How will this sort of statement play with his voters, with his supporters in the Philippines?
We still don't know. As a political scientist, I would only base any analysis on if there are data. And right now, I think there are two legitimate survey companies that are doing a first 100 days or end of third quarter survey, and let's see if this kind of statement gets traction and in terms affect how voters view our president in terms of trusting and seeing his performance as very positive. He won with 40% of the vote, but we have multi-candidates. But he entered government with a 91% trust rating, being considered as a legitimately elected president of the country. So we will see if this kind of statements, as it has worsened the past few days and weeks, affect his voter popularity.
And just finally then, Victor, of course this statement was in regards to Duterte's war on drugs and drug dealers. Just how exactly is that going? How many more killings have there been? And are people still being left on the streets with cardboard signs across their bodies calling them drug pushers?
Of course, it's not as bad as how it has been really portrayed. It's just shocking when, of course, when media highlights its pictures. But there seems to be this general feeling, because this is happening in what we call impoverished communities, and it seems that there is this feeling of peace and order. We've been noticing actually positive reactions coming from the poorest of the poor in the Philippines, because they see this as cleaning up their neighborhood with regards to criminality and known drug pushers or drug syndicates.
Okay, Victor Manhit, professor from De La Salle University in Manila. Thank you so much for your time.